Hello. Welcome everyone to Untitled with Amanda and Kendall, or I should say Cooterdoodle and Kendall. Excited to be back here with you guys all again and with the one and only Amanda. How's it going? How are you doing?
Going good. I think after today, I'm going to be a Broncos fan. We'll get into it later, but I might be having to switch
What?
teams, Kendall.
Oh my
Might have
gosh.
to do
You know
it.
what? I feel like you're allowed. So what's your take on that? I think people should be allowed to do it one time in their life, especially if they were, born into it. Like if you're born into the Browns, like I believe that you should be able to change it if you want. Or if something crappy happens like with the Browns and Deshaun Watson, yeah, you should be able to
Yeah.
change it. So I love this for you. Ooh, that's
On
a
the
big
other end,
decision.
I think bandwagon fans get, too much heat.
Ah.
Jump ship as much as you want. Just be full in when you're in it?
I like it. Wait, so the Broncos, so you're done with the Saints? Maybe.
Yep. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay. All right. What do you do other sports, by the way, or is it just football? Because people know that I hate the Mariners. So that's like my other thing. Do you hate anyone
Mhm.
else?
No, but I don't know if you can tell. I got a hole in one in 2012 and no one's talking about it. So I do play
Should we talk
sports.
about it? Okay.
Yeah.
I never heard the full story here about your hole in one.
Yeah. There's a
Just
lot of facts. It was in 2012 and it was a hole in one, Kendall. It's very important. Everyone should know about it.
I would actually talk about that the rest of my life. So I respect you bringing that back up, and I think we should talk about it every single show. By the way, I do have one question before we move on here. How's your bracket doing for the fantasy life?
We don't have to talk about it
Okay,
this week.
okay, moving on. All right, that's fine. Moving on. I had a little note in my rundown, and I said, "Ask Amanda?" question mark about March Madness. So that's okay. We're totally moving on here. So appreciate everyone as always hanging out with us here today. Want to point you in the direction of fantasylife.com though. That's where all our articles are 100% free. We're going to reference some in the show here today. But now, Amanda, it is time for Did You Hear? Presented by Bud Light. All right, Amanda, time for Did You Hear? Presented by Bud Light. It's a light news week, let me just say that. But we did have some stuff come out from the annual league meetings here. So I want to know, did you hear Jets GM says, quote, "We believe Justin is the starter." So it feels like, Amanda, he will not have to look over his shoulder. He is the QB1 there. What do you think about that?
I think, thank goodness. I mean, he kind of has been thrust into these opportunities that haven't been great. We know with the Bears, we've seen multiple first round quarterbacks struggle there. Then he goes to the Steelers, but he's kind of like a fill in for Russell Wilson. I
Mm-hmm.
like that they're giving him a chance and they're fully committed. And look, money wise, they're paying him starters money, right? He's getting 30 million
Exactly.
guaranteed on his 2-year, 40 million deal. And to kind of put it into perspective, I was curious, Kendall, how you felt about this, but I was looking through, okay, what other starting quarterbacks, what are they getting paid? We know that Sam Darnold is making some money. He's getting that 55 million guaranteed. I know. But then you look at Russell Wilson, he's got that deal for 21 million with only 10.5 guaranteed. Daniel Jones with 13 million guaranteed. I know he may not be the starter, but who knows? So I think with the Jets, they put their money where their mouth is, fully commit. I like it. I'm all in on the Jets this season, I think.
Oh, I like it too, especially because, like you said, follow the money. You say, okay, 30 million guaranteed, with his 2-year deal for 40 that's starter money. So they're really believing and hoping that he can be the guy. And I honestly, Amanda, I know we've talked about this before, but I also hope Justin Fields can be the guy because for fantasy football purposes, that would be great for us, right? Right now, I think he's
Mhm.
consensus QB 13 in our Fantasy Life rankings, which you can find at fantasylife.com. But that's the one thing that has to, we know he has the rushing upside. The thing that has to get better is the passing here. And I do like him with Garrett Wilson, but I will say he averaged 184 passing yards in those 6 games with the Steelers last season. And then he actually had a career high 65.8% completion rate. So there were flashes. And I know that was last year. I know people are going to say, well, that's only 6 games. And I get it. This is a whole new offense. It's Aaron Glenn's team. So he's going to have to learn a lot under a new offensive coordinator again. But I don't know. I feel like he can do it. And for fantasy, it just feels, maybe some people are divided, but it's going to be really hard to keep him pretty far away from the top 10, top 13, just because of his legs. Like what he's able to give us. Yeah, he might not be this prolific passer, Amanda, but what he can give us with his legs, we're like, oh, we don't care. He's just going to run the ball. So QB 13 kind of seems right to me.
And then Jets got that 7th pick. What if they go Tyler Warren? I mean, that's only going to boost him
Ooh.
up. No, I like it. I want Aaron Glenn to be fully committed. The only thing that makes me nervous is he did say just because Justin Fields is QB1 doesn't mean Tyrod Taylor won't be on his heels. I'm like, why even put that out into the universe? Why are we
Please.
doing that?
I'm like, just
Why?
don't make him look over his shoulder. He gets nervous. Not Justin Fields.
Mhm.
Come on, like you're gonna be fine. Maybe I don't know. I'm hoping, Amanda, that the third time's the charm. Third team, and I'm just hoping that this is the one. At least for us in fantasy, maybe he's gonna be bad in real life, but fantasy football, we just need him to outproduce
Score
his
some
ADP. And right
touchdowns.
now,
Yeah.
it's QB12, QB13. So I'm all for it. I like it.
Right. And speaking of people being the guy on their team, did you hear that the Panthers believe Xavier Legette is the guy on the Panthers, Kendall, the number one
Amanda,
wide receiver? Do you feel good about it?
what do we do? I had to look this quote up to make sure that I wasn't spreading false information. I was like, okay, what's the actual quote there? And then I had to go look because this quote I found it from Panthers, their website, panthers.com. And that was the quote, I think we got that guy. I think it's Xavier. That was Dave Canales talking about him. And then he went on to say, and I think it's up to the coaches to just continue to develop him and let him grow at his pace. For me, the goal is Xavier Legette. Let's just have him take that next step. And that's going to be his first offseason with us. So Amanda, I love Xavier Legette. I am rooting for you. But to say that that's the wide receiver one and they haven't really done anything else for their offense, they knew that they needed to go into the offseason and really fix their defense. It was really bad. And so for Bryce Young, that's where this conversation has a turn, is that I also want to believe that Bryce Young can build on the fantastic end of the season that he had last year. But if it's Xavier Legette, wide receiver one, I don't know. Like Amanda, they were in talks. They were trying to get DK Metcalf because Dave Canales has ties to Seattle. And I'm like, you can't go from trying to get DK Metcalf to then just saying Xavier Legette's
I'm
our
comfortable.
guy. Exactly.
Yes.
So I think he can be a guy, but saying he's the guy, I don't know, Amanda. I think they have to go into the draft and get more help. I'm surprised they haven't done it so far. That was one of the teams, along with the Patriots, you and I talked about a lot, where we said they need help. Get Bryce Young help. Get Drake May help. Drake May got help with Stephon Diggs, and now we're sitting here, and I feel bad. If that's the case for Bryce Young, we can't move him up the rankings at all.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. If you're going to go out there and say you were trying to get a wide receiver one and you missed out on it, then it seems like now it's just your backup plan. I know that Legette had 8 drops last year out of 81 targets. Yeah. And I always get nervous when a coach says we think he can take the next steps this offseason, and that's what they're saying here. But I will say the one thing I guess that is positive is they said you can't get Legette out the building. He's there early and late, and he's one of those guys that does everything. So at least he's giving it his all. That's the positive side.
That's why I'm trying not to I don't want to, be mean about it, but I'm just like, they have under $20 million devoted to their 2025 wide receiver and tight end room. So whether it's a wide receiver or whether it's a tight end, you and I have talked about how deep of a tight end class this is this season. They need someone else. And I do believe that they're going to go out and do that, because there is no chance that they can go out there with the Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, duo and say, well, and Jalen Coker, can't forget him. Sorry to all the Cokeheads out there that love him. But I don't know, for you and Bryce Young, where are you at with Bryce Young? Because I'm split. Sometimes I want to believe that he's going to be okay and it's going to be a little bit better. And people say, oh, well, with his price right now, he could definitely outperform his ADP. And then the other side of me is like, it's the Panthers and it's Bryce Young. No offense, but it's not great.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them. I'm not drafting them. That's where my line's drawn. You know what I mean? I hope they do well. I hope they prove me wrong, but I don't want to be on that ride if it doesn't go that direction.
You're going to be like, see, I told you, don't do it. So we'll see. Sorry, Xavier Legette, but you are not DK Metcalf. Maybe in size, I think that's the only thing. So let's see if they go get someone in the draft to give Bryce Young a little bit more help. All right. Did you hear, though, that there are actually trade rumors surrounding Dallas Goedert? I know he's not a big superstar tight end for us in fantasy football, but we've talked, Amanda, about how big the teardrop is with some of these more elite guys. And so right now, Dallas Goedert, tight end 13 for us in the Fantasy Life rankings. What do you think about him potentially on the move?
I don't hate it. Nick Sirianni, this is the quote. Right now, he's on our football team. I mean, what do you do with that? That doesn't sound like confidence at all. I think at some point there was like a brief period where it was rumored that he would go to the Saints. And so I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like when you have this Eagles team that just did what they did, like keep some of those core pieces. I know he's on the last year of his contract. I would like to see him stay there. But when you say right now he's on our football team, that just sounds like they're ready to move on. I don't know if you know this though, Kendall. So they probably won't do anything until after June 1st. And the reason for that being is I think his cap hit is maybe 11.8 million, but they have no savings on that until after June 1st. So we won't know anything until after the draft, which might give us a good clue depending on what they do. But they don't pick until the 32nd pick. That's the price of the Lombardi trophy. You know what I mean?
See, I wish I had that problem. I wish it was just like, F them picks. I like Snead it. I'd just say, oh, well, we don't need them because we won the Super Bowl. So, shout out to you, Dallas Goedert fans and Eagles fans. But I'm glad you brought up the money and the timeline, right? Because it's not necessarily something that could happen right now. June 1st, like you said, is probably a date to watch. And I've read that maybe there could be a trade for him on draft night, right? Couple him up with a couple of other picks, and then you send him somewhere else and get a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. There are teams, like the Seattle Seahawks that could use a tight end. You said maybe the Saints. I don't know, but I like Juwan Johnson over there. But there are teams that he could land on. But it'll be interesting. He was productive though. He's 30 years old. He turned 30 years old in January. So he's going to be 30, obviously, when the season starts. But he led the team in receptions and receiving yards on that Super Bowl run. So we know he's been productive. And he's just one of those guys where I don't necessarily draft him a lot, but because of just how big the teardrops are, he's in a good offense where you say, okay, I can punt on tight end for a little bit here and go out and get Dallas Goedert in later rounds. That's kind of one of those guys that I say, oh, okay, I can wait and get a Dallas Goedert. Again, it's not super sexy, but it's one that's kind of fun. So it kind of depends on where he lands. But I think he's going to stay with the Eagles. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I hope he does. It just seems like one of those things where don't get rid of all your core pieces after such a good year. I don't know, but I understand money has to do with it, all those things. Speaking of the complexities of football, Kendall, did you hear that there's just rules and stuff and all this voting going on? Did you hear that the tush push is being tabled now, the ban? I will be honest, I'm not super happy with this one because you go into it hearing that Green Bay wants to get it banned. Okay, maybe they're bitter, maybe they have reasons, but the more that people speak on it, the more I'm getting concerned because you have Roger Goodell saying that he's looking into it for player safety reasons, but he quote unquote says, but we don't have a lot of data on it. And I'm like, I got the data for you. It's touchdown worthy. Like we can go look, there's plenty of touchdowns being scored on this tush push, at least from the Eagles standpoint. And so I don't know if it's necessarily about injuries, if they're even admitting that they don't have that much data to back that up. But the informal vote was 16-16 split. Did that surprise you?
I know. I was shocked. I was like, wait a second, when did we get here? And then they tabled it. I heard the rumor. Now this is just a rumor, but that obviously that didn't go to vote. Like that didn't go to the full vote because that was just, something that they looked into, but they didn't do the full vote. And they believe that they can get people to switch on over to the other side. I believe they need 24. It would have taken 24 teams to vote in favor of banning the play for the proposal to be adopted. So 16-16 though, I was shocked. And Amanda, I'm still on the same page. It's like you're trying to get a rule, you're trying to get something banned that like two teams, really one team does well. So it's like focused on one team and it's the Eagles and they just won the Super Bowl and it makes you look bitter. I'm sorry. And there's no, like even Roger Goodell said, we have to get, like you said, they have to figure out the injury stuff. But even some spokesperson said, there's really not that many injuries. Like if there were injuries, the Eagles wouldn't be doing it as often. It blows my mind.
But I am nervous because Schefter just came out and said that Goodell is like the master at getting the votes that he wants, and he's wanting it to go this direction. So I don't know. I'm pro tush push unless you can prove to me that it's hurting players. I'm pro tush push.
Just get better at it, Green Bay. Sorry, like just get better at it, and then you won't want it. You won't want it to get banned. It's totally fine. But there's a lot of rule changes. I'm writing an article about them right now, so some of them are pretty interesting. So we can talk about those a little bit later. But that was Did You Hear? Presented by Bud Light. Okay, fantasy football fans, sure, NFL season may be long over, but next season's action is already well underway. We're talking big trades, new signings, draft order shuffles, you name it. And all this preseason NFL action is easier to enjoy with the official beer of the NFL. So get Bud Light delivered today and enjoy every season projection, every player trade, every coaching change, and draft pick with the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Stock up now for the offseason and enjoy Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. All right, Amanda, now we're getting into state of the team. And I'm excited for this one because you're a trained professional and you teased us at the very beginning. So now I've been waiting for this segment for you to tell us why. And we can start with Bo Nix. We're talking about the Denver Broncos today and going through the state of the team with the Denver Broncos. And just a reminder, Ian did a great job of breaking down team needs in the offseason. So you guys can go and check those out at fantasylife.com. But I have to know, first of all, your overall thoughts on Bo Nix and then why you might be changing to the Denver Broncos. That's huge.
It is huge. Look, I know that the big question we had today was, is Bo Nix going to be 2025 CJ Stroud? And you know what, Kendall? He was better than 2024's CJ Stroud. I mean, you look at him, he's one of those guys that I know the narrative isn't everything, but do you remember back in the draft last year, whenever the Broncos took him 12th overall and people were kind of stunned at Sean Payton, like why did they reach for Bo Nix? But then you look at all of the rookie quarterbacks from that draft, and I'm sorry, but he performed really well, and it really wasn't that much of a reach. I mean, you look at guys like Drake May that went 103. You look at, obviously injuries, JJ McCarthy, 110, Caleb Williams, 101. I like Bo Nix. I am very excited about him.
Okay, so is it Bo Nix that's going to change you to be? We'll talk about it. But he had 18. I know you're just egging me on here. I just want to know, but 18.6 fantasy points per game as a rookie, which was the 5th highest mark in the Super Bowl era behind guys like Cam Newton, Justin Herbert, Robert Griffin, and Jaden Daniels. So he's in really good company there. And I know I put in. I think that was me that did the will he be the 2025 CJ Stroud just to stir the pot a little bit. But I want to say, Amanda, he won't be, because that was such and I to the side, I think CJ Stroud, we're going to get the CJ Stroud from 2 years ago, not from last year. That's just what I'm hoping for here. But the numbers don't lie. 316.2 fantasy points last season, which was phenomenal. And the better part was, Amanda, that he got better as the season went on, just like we know a lot of rookies do. But he did it with this cast where Cortland Sutton had a great fantasy season, but everyone else kind of fell short. Like the running back game wasn't good, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But he had 5 touchdowns in the first 7 games and then threw 24 in the final 10. And then he gives us the rushing upside. He's inside our top 10 consensus quarterbacks at fantasylife.com. So I'm on board. The thing that sucks now though is that he's going to be expensive. You don't get the discounted Bo Nix, pick him up off the waiver wire kind of thing. Like he's going to be pricey, but I'm hoping he can outperform that ADP.
Right. I think he can. And I have to tell a very quick draft story about Bo Nix. My home league commissioner went to the Scott Fish Bowl, like the live draft last season. And he said that there was a guy at a table across the room from him at this live draft who got really excited. He was picking right after my friend Rob. And he sees the guy get excited. He takes his shirt off, and underneath it is a Bo Nix jersey. And he goes, I'm getting my guy. So then, of course, my friend Rob immediately drafted Bo Nix to snipe him. And it paid off. It paid off incredibly.
Did he like Bo Nix, or did he just say, I have to be this guy? Like, you can't,
he liked him,
but he celebrate too early.
Yes, you cannot. Like the fact, it was just, I could just imagine it. Some dude just ripping his shirt off, a Bo Nix jersey underneath, about to go just like high five all his buddies. No. And then he got sniped. So it's incredible. And then it paid off. I mean, what a great season.
Honestly, that's a lesson too. Don't celebrate too early. When you think you've got your guy and you're not on the clock yet, that's bold. I like that a lot. And like you said, it worked out. So I need to know for you, because we've just talked kind of about, the core players that he had last season, the Broncos looking like they're trying to upgrade that just a little bit. Evan Ingram comes to the Denver Broncos to be, and I think the question here is, can he be a tight end 1 for the Denver Broncos? Because their tight ends in 2024 were really bad. Just to throw it out there, like it just never came together. The Greg Dulcich thing was never coming together. But they had 51 receptions, which was 29th, and then receiving yards 483, which was 30th in the league, and then 5 receiving touchdowns, which was tied for 13th. So there wasn't anything there really for Bo Nix to get into a rhythm with their tight end room. So I'm curious if you're excited about Evan Ingram or kind of just like, doesn't matter to me.
I think I'm excited, and it has to do, again, like, I hate that always I have this seeping like Saints fandom coming through, because for a while that's what made me dislike the Broncos last season. I'm like, you're taking all our players, Sean Payton. What are you doing? Because he kept taking all these Saints players and coaches there with him. And I think I'm going to do a heel turn, and I'm just all in on the Broncos, because now I'm like, well, hold on. What if Evan Ingram has this Jeremy Shockey type of year, or this Jimmy Graham type of year that Sean Payton was able to get out of his tight ends? And not only that, what if he's like Taysom Hill 2.0? We know that Sean Payton has said he wants this Joker role. I know that you guys don't like it sometimes whenever we got is he a quarterback? Is he a tight end? Is he a running back? Whatever. But I think that would be super exciting. It would help Bo Nix. It would really open things up down the middle. I'm excited about it. And so I look at where he's going. I know for the Fantasy Life consensus rankings, Ingram's going right in between Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, and then Dallas Goedert and Dalton Kincaid. You know how I feel about Tyler Warren already, but I'm excited about that. I think I am going to take some Evan Ingram this year.
Yeah, I'd definitely take him over Goddard and Dalton Kincaid for sure. But I'm with you, because people look at that and say, well, Sean Payton he hasn't had a team tight end target share above 19% since 2015. And so you've got like 8 tight end rooms, right? Averaging 15%. And then looking through that, though, you didn't have the players to do that. And you look at Evan Ingram and you say, okay, he's got a career target share of 19.9%, and he's going to get into this offense. And like you said, it's going to be the short, quick passes from Bo Nix. So I actually like this as well. I might not go out of my way. Like I don't believe so strongly that I just say every single draft I need to get Evan Ingram out of this. But I do think that for what it's worth, and for what Bo Nix has shown us, and hopefully Bo Nix, just becomes even better as a passer, like he's going to be looking for Ingram often underneath. And so for me, like low end tight end 1, probably right where you said. What'd you say? Tight end 12?
Yeah, TE12. He's right after Tucker Kraft, who I love. I've talked about Tucker Kraft on this show. I've talked about Tyler Warren, but I think I'm warming up to all 3 of those as like some later round, take them. I think it'll be fine. And even Sean Payton, said he thinks that he can give us a passing threat on third down and in the red zone. And that's what I want from my tight ends.
All right, Evan Ingram. Let's see you do it. I think the other one too is they're running backs. Well, whatever is left, because man, that was just really bad. And I just feel for Javonte Williams a little bit, because we saw flashes like that rookie season, and then the knee injury comes down and you say, all right, well, he hasn't really been the same since. So I'm curious with you, and I'm just going to throw a rookie at you, but Omari and Hampton, because that just feels, I don't know, Amanda, it just feels like the NFL just gossips, and it feels like Sean Payton cannot keep a secret. He reminds me of me. Don't tell me any secret. I won't be able to keep it. I try to tell people their Christmas gifts in whatever, August, September, if I have them. I'm like, do you want to know what you got for Christmas? And they're like, no, please don't tell me. So Amari and Hampton seems like the right fit. Do you like him?
I love it. Him, he's going to be a starter. Like he's going to be a guy that you can draft and you can trust, and he's going to do great. Are the Broncos going to take him in the first round? Hopefully they can. I know we talked last week about the fact that Mina Kimes was saying how the Broncos have addressed so many pieces that they're not desperate at any particular position and they could wait. But like you said, I don't think they can keep a secret. I do think Hampton's going to end up there. If he does, I'm very excited. I really am. I mean, look, I've been a Broncos fan before. Okay, it's not new to me, but I'm excited about that. And I don't know if you saw Ian Hartit's article when he was talking about the Broncos in 2024, but he called Javonte Williams the biggest disappointment for the Broncos in 2024. And I mean, I know that's a hard thing to say, but we kind of have to face the facts here. He's not going to be that guy. And Sean Payton showed us through his usage of all the running backs, it's just, he's not the guy. So we need to fill that hole in their roster, and I'm all in on Omarion Hampton. How about you? You just locked into it?
Oh, I'm locked in. I really, it
Mhm.
feels like almost any running back that I say almost any, but it feels like Ashton Genty's not going to be there if they go. And we're going to talk about some of these rookies, but the other running backs and how deep this class is, I almost feel like whoever goes into that role, they're going to have a time, because no offense to Julian McLaughlin, Audric Estime, like they took turns as the lead back in that offense, and no one really ran away with this job. So it feels like an RB1 opening is just waiting for someone to come in there. I'm hoping it's Omarion Hampton, just because I also look at the closest comps that Dwayne McFarland had in the rookie supermodel, and I get excited, Amanda. You can't tell me Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Zach Charbonnet. I'm going to get excited. I'll also say he did say Breece Hall and Rashad Penny, but I was going to leave those guys till last. So I think it's fine. I think he has a chance, to give that RB2 upside when you're drafting him in some of these drafts. And I think he can get that low end RB1 status, just depending on where he lands. But if it's with the Denver Broncos, I really do think he can get there. And it's the same, Cortland Sutton, switching gears to the wide receivers too. I did not have nearly enough. And I'll just say hand up, I maybe had him in 1 or 2 leagues, and that's including best ball. I did not have a lot of Cortland Sutton, but he was surprising last year, man. It was almost quietly, he was just one of the better receivers in fantasy football, where you could kind of set it and forget it. But it feels like they might need more, right? Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and then who else? Evan Ingram. But what else?
Right. And it's kind of like you said, I mean, he had a over 1,000-yard season, 8 touchdowns. I mean, where did that come from with this rookie quarterback who, had almost 19 points per game in fantasy? But it is like you're saying, you look at this, what did Bo Nix do? He did a lot with very little. And so I do think that wide receiver might be a need for the Broncos this season in the draft. And I'm curious to see what they end up doing. Because like we said, they aren't necessarily pressured to take any particular position in the first round. Curious to see what they do. I hope they go running back. But I mean, Marvin Mims is just not enough there either. So they're going to have to beef it up a little bit. Sutton's ranked around guys like DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison, Chris Olave, Rashee Rice. I mean, he's moving on up there with these Bronco, I don't know. I like that orange, Kendall. I like that orange.
Expensive. I know. So if you become a Denver Broncos, so what are you waiting on? What needs to happen for you to jump ship for the year and not be a Saints fan and become a Denver Broncos fan?
You know what? If they take Hampton, I'll probably be like, you know what? Let's go all in.
Oh, okay. Getting the Hampton jersey, is that the next guy where you're going to get 3 of his jerseys?
Maybe it is. We talked about bandwagon fans. I got to pick somebody new for this season to be all in on.
I love it. Okay. And then we'll meet him at the Super Bowl, and then you'll have 3 jerseys by then, and we'll get him signed. I can already see where this is going to go. All right. You heard it here first, everyone. Amanda might be jumping on the Broncos bandwagon. That's not a bad team to jump on, though. You sure you don't want the Seahawks? Could I interest you in a
let me watch a few games, Kendall. Let me see how they look first.
If you're going to do that, then it's a no. That's fine. You can just say no. All right, let's go over to a new segment that we're going to do. And if people are watching on YouTube, this is more catered towards you, but we're going to talk it out as well. We're going to do a little whiteboard session here. So we've got our whiteboards in front of us here, and we are going to go through, kind of a dynasty spin on it. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to go through dynasty draft spots, and we're going to give names of rookies coming up in this 2025 NFL draft. You and I are going to write on the whiteboard where we would take them in a dynasty superflex draft, and then we're going to compare and see if we're kind of close. Now, I know, when you're listening to this is a little bit different. It depends on who you're drafting with. It depends on what your team looks like. If you need a quarterback, if you don't, because we're talking superflex, we understand that, but just lighten it up a little bit, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to go through some of these names. So I think we should start with let's do Shedeur Sanders here. So Shedeur Sanders in a dynasty rookie superflex draft, where would you take him? For people only listening, we're writing right now, and we're going to reveal in
markers
3.
are squeaking.
Markers don't squeak. Anyway, okay, reveal it in 3, 2, 1 for Shedeur Sanders. Where are you going?
Oh, we're off, but I love it.
Wow.
I love how different we are.
So 106 for me, 205 for not even the first round. Okay.
Nope.
Let me no, you start, because now I'm just like, well, wait a minute, hang on. We're so different. I thought we would be closer. All right. Why do you think second round for Shedeur Sanders?
Okay, I will preface that I don't hate your pick, okay? But I'm going with the glass half empty approach here. And so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
very nervous because you look at who could potentially draft him. And I know that most people are thinking Cleveland now is going to go defensive end. So, okay, will it potentially be the Giants? And that's where my worry comes in. As much as I think it would be kind of crazy for the Giants to go quarterback after they just added Jameis Winston and they just added Russell Wilson, they didn't pay them a ton of money. They had a lot of money available to do what they did. Do they want to invest in their future? Some people think so. And if that's the case, I don't know that he's going to be starting. And so I want to be a little more hesitant here with the pick, you know? I know we also have a bold prediction from Gene Clemens that wrote for Fantasy Life. His bold prediction is that if the Giants don't take him, a lot of these teams don't need quarterback anymore. He might fall to the Steelers. I do like that. I don't hate it. I mean, that solves the Mason Rudolph conundrum. But you know, in this hypothetical world, I probably am just going to have better quarterbacks that are older in this draft. You know what I mean? On my roster already.
And that's where I think a lot of people are going to have such a difficult time nailing down their draft for Superflex. Because if you're a team that needs a quarterback, though, and you don't have one of those top picks where you can get Cam Ward, so we're both on the same page that Cam Ward's going to be gone. That's why I'm thinking 106. Because to me, when I look at it and I say, all right, Shedeur Sanders 106, that means to me, I wrote him down. Genty is going to be gone. McMillan, Omari and Hampton, even Emeka Egbuka, I would take ahead. Like then I say, okay, if you're a quarterback needy team, then Sanders is probably going to come off the board. I'm looking at it hopefully glass half full here that he goes to, in the perfect world, right? It's him going to the Browns because they literally have no quarterback. And did you see that they said that we regret, what did they say? A swing and a miss with Deshaun Watson. Like, yeah, guys, I think the whole world, we were trying to tell you that, but that's fine. You guys can figure that out just a couple years too late. But last season, Shedeur Sanders, 81.8% adjusted accuracy percentage, which was 5 points ahead of Cam Ward. Not saying he's better because I do have Cam Ward ahead of him, but ranked number 2 amongst FBS quarterbacks per PFF. So maybe I've been with Thor a little too long here, Amanda, doing our podcasts and stuff, doing our shows. But I do believe the Shedeur Sanders is going to be good. But you're right. It's depending on fit. So this is definitely a riskier pick with 106. And I'm hoping he doesn't. I mean, to the Giants, though, he's going to win that job, right? He'd win that job.
Yeah, but how long would it take? I don't know. Maybe I haven't been Thor pilled. I need to be Thor pilled. I'll read more about it. You know?
You'll love the Minnesota Vikings and you'll love Shedeur Sanders. Like that's where you would go there. All right, let's do another one. Let's go on. We've got our whiteboards here for anyone only listening. But let's go with Tyler Warren. Let's see where we would take Tyler Warren in this deep tight end class. So squeak.
Squeak. I have to think really hard about this one, Kendall.
Yeah,
yikes.
right.
What am I going to do? Okay, ready.
All right, ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. Tyler Warren.
You know I had to do it. You know I had to do it to you. Those rookie tight ends.
For anyone just listening, 101 for Amanda, 108 for me.
But look, if I'm being honest, put a little hat on it. 107.
107. I like that.
But I had to do it for the bit. I mean, I love my rookie tight ends. I think he's going to have a good season. So wait, what did you have, Kendall? I have to compare it mentally.
108.
Oh, okay. So we're essentially
we're
locked
right there.
In. Okay.
He's going to be good.
All you have to do to get me locked into this, I mean, we have Dwayne's super model that supports my bias here. We have Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers' history as rookies that supports my model here and my bias here. And then Thor Nystrom said he's just a bigger version of Brock Bowers. That's all I need to hear. I mean, I'm done, right? That's all I need to hear. So I might even take him sooner.
I like it. They throw these names out to like sucker us in. He's like, ooh, Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta. And I'm like, wait a second. Those two, the last 2 years, I'm with you though. He could be, I think 108 is probably, where he's going to go in these super flex drafts. I wouldn't mind if people took him a little bit earlier, to be totally honest. So I'm excited to see where he goes on draft nights. We talked about him, I think, a couple weeks ago and saying that maybe he's a fit for the Colts because their tight end room last season, just their receiving yards were so low, and you have to get another weapon over there for who I think it's going to be Anthony Richardson. If it's truly a quarterback competition, I think Anthony Richardson wins that. But, the Colts need someone that's going to help them win now, and they haven't picked someone in the draft like that in a really long time. So I like Tyler Warren, and I like him in these rookie super flex drafts. So I definitely think that's a good one. All right, let's go let's go to another one. Let's do Travion Henderson. Let's do Travion Henderson and see where he's going to have it. Where are my notes? Oh gosh. Okay, I've got it.
So you squeak away. I've got mine.
Squeak.
So you're checking your notes. You got your rankings.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Look at us.
Oh, we're perfect.
Okay,
we're right in step.
We're
104
for,
again. 104 for you, 105 for me. I like it. RB3 in Dwayne's rookie supermodel. And listen, if you need a running back in your superflex drafts this year, Amanda, and you don't need to look at a quarterback, you are going to live the life. You're going to sit back. Genty's not going to be there. In my opinion, Genty's 101. But if you're drafting with Amanda, he might be 102 after Tyler Warren there. But it's just, you're just going to sit back and you're going to watch these people have to go back and forth on a Cam Ward and a Shedeur Sanders and say, well, who are you going to take? Then you've got Tedero and McMillan. To me, Travion Henderson, I'm super excited. You know, again, the RB3. So Amari and Hampton is in front of him. And then, of course, Ashton Genty. So again, depends on where he lands. I could see, you know, if the Broncos don't take Amari and Hampton, that they go with Henderson, or I don't know. He's just so good. And it says it in the rookie supermodel.
And they were saying if he falls that he could potentially be like a day 2 Cowboys pick. I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that.
You know, like that could be a good fit. So either way you look at it, he's kind of falling somewhere between that RB3, RB5 for the rookies. And I don't think you can go wrong, especially if you're drafting early in your rookie drafts. Like you said, if you don't need a quarterback, don't need Cam Ward. So 104 and would you say 105? I'm very comfy with
we're
either
right
of
there.
those.
Yeah, we're right there. All right, let's do one more here. Let's go this one. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Let's do Travis Hunter. Let's see what we have for Travis Hunter, because I've seen so many different ones, Amanda, where people say
varies. Okay.
Take him early, and people say don't draft him at all. So let's go with Travis Hunter. Ready?
All right, I'm ready. Okay, I went 108.
108 for Amanda, and then right at the end, 112 for me. What do you think about people saying like don't draft him, it's too risky? If people don't know, Travis Hunter is coming out of Colorado. He plays 2 positions, and it's wide receiver and it's cornerback. And there's a lot of people saying, well, he's only going to be predominantly on defense. They're not really going to use him as a wide receiver. But what do you say to people, you know, asking you about if they should draft him or not?
You know, at some point you have to take a risk in your drafts. And I feel like the rookie drafts sometimes are the best time to do it. I understand, like, it depends on your roster, especially in Dynasty, what you already have, what holes you're trying to fill. But take a risk on it. I mean, he's so talented. And we know that if he was declared as wide receiver only, he would be the number 1 off the board. A lot of people have him ranked there. So I don't hate it. The only thing that makes me a little nervous is people projecting him at 103 for the Giants. Is that going to be a super fun time for Russell Wilson? Is that going to hurt Malik Neighbors a little bit? I don't know. But yeah, I'm okay taking him. Take a little risk, 108.
Especially if it works out for you in fantasy football. If he goes to a team and they say, you know what, we're actually just going to use him, like a team like the Browns. I think Pete Overzet wrote about this, but a team like the Browns have already come out and say that we're going to use him more as a wide receiver. So listen to us, it's a risk. We know that no matter where you really take him, it's going to be a risk. But you know, he could be going, and again, this was written in the Fantasy Life newsletter that you can check out at fantasylife.com. But if he was going and we knew he was going to just be a wide receiver, he'd be going in the 4th round of drafts, just regular redraft, Amanda. He'd be going around Zay Flowers, Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith. So keep that in mind, but it is a risk. If you're willing to risk it with Travis Hunter, then that's going to be your guy. I liked that one. We were pretty close. I think there was only one that we just we were kind of far apart on, but that was good.
Yeah. Half full, half empty. Yeah, good call, bad call. We got this.
We're good, and we're on time. That's even more important here. All right, so we're going into the 4th quarter here. I'm excited because we haven't done this since our first show that we ever did together, but it is time for the Hot Girl Hotline. Let's check it out. Wow, look at that. Look at that intro. I thought they were going to have little, you know, pictures of us in there with the mics and everything. That was awesome. Shout out to our team. That was awesome. All right. Hot Girl Hotline, Amanda, we have not heard these. So these are our callers, you know, long time listeners, first time callers, hopefully here. So let's start off with a call from Jakey T.
Hi there. My question for Kendall and Amanda is this. If you could only draft fantasy players from one real-life NFL team, which team would it be? So your whole fantasy team has to be made up of players from this real NFL team.
Oh.
But you're not allowed to say the Lions, the Bengals, or the Bucks. Just to balance out the ratio
Come on, Jakey
of fun to
T.
misery in this question. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I like that he just.
hate
I like that he
this.
just he puts the disclaimer at the end. Like, you actually can't pick the teams you were just thinking. Okay, but he didn't say the Eagles, so I feel like the Eagles have to be the not obvious one. But would it not be? Would it be the Eagles? Because it would be the Eagles for me, unless
maybe
I'm totally
so. Right,
missing out on a
because
team.
I had the Bengals in my head when he said that. I felt personally attacked, so that was rude. But now that you say it, I mean, Saquon, Jalen Hurts, as long as they don't ban the tush push.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, maybe Dallas Goedert. Yeah,
Goddard. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yes, Eagles.
That feels right. I think I'm looking through. Sorry, Dallas. No, Green Bay. No.
There's so many question marks on.
No,
I don't know.
No.
There's question marks.
There's question marks because you get the elite. You get the elite quarterback here, Miami. No, I think 49. Or he said we can't pick the 49ers, right?
No,
So that
didn't.
doesn't count.
I don't believe. Did he?
Oh, he didn't. I
don't know.
I think
I like to break the
Eagles
rules.
Okay.
I like to break the rules, so I'm going to go Lions. Okay, but I do think Eagles makes the most sense given the constraints because you have top tier at every position, which is I'm sure why they won the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Jakey T, for calling in. All right, let's go to another call from Coach Gene coming in.
What's up, ladies? This is Gene. I know that Jessie Reyez dropped a brand new album. I want to know what's your favorite song off the album and why is it not Goliath? Thanks.
Shout out to Coach Gene. All right, Amanda, first of all, Jessie Reyez. And for you and for anyone that does know, I love Jessie Reyez. Do you listen to her at all?
I have not heard her, but I did pull up her track list. I pulled it up, so I'm looking and I can just pick and maybe I just have good vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just pick. The whole album you can't miss.
Okay, then my favorite is going to be, I think, Toronto Shorty.
Ooh, I like
Having
that.
never
I
heard
like that one.
Okay, so is it a good one? It's a good
pick? I'm going to be total. I'm not even biased because I don't even know her. Like, I don't know her. We're not texting back and forth. Her whole album, you can't miss. Like every song, it's no skip. I put it on my Instagram. I said, everyone needs to check it out. My favorite for Gene here is Couldn't Be Me. It's just so catchy. Amanda, you're just vibing. You're in the car. You're like, oh, this is a great song. But for anyone that hasn't heard of Jessie Reyez, shameless plug. This is not an ad. She is not our friend, although that would be amazing. Maybe we can get her on and she could sing for us on the show.
So this album, I'm seeing this album came out on March 28th. Yes, I mean, that didn't give me much time to prep, Coach Gene.
No. Yeah, come on, Gene. You gotta give Amanda a little bit of time here. But yes, Jessie Reyez, everyone go check out that new album. And then we'll go see her in concert, hopefully here soon. So I like that. Shout out to Coach Gene, the karaoke king over there. All right, let's go for another one here. Let's go out to Becca B in the 773. I like that.
So I'm looking for some tips and tricks for a first-time fantasy player. So help your girl out, please.
I like that. You want to take this one in first?
Yes, I love this. I love this because I think that sometimes there is this like new to fantasy and super deep crazy league pipeline, and we kind of forget like the basics of how we used to feel when it was just important to have your friends in the league. And it was good to like, I'm losing, but I'm having a great time. I'm drafting players that I want to root for. And so I would say that my biggest thing would be making sure that you have good people in your league and a commissioner that you can trust, because, oh my God, the leagues that have imploded that I've been around, it's usually because you need somebody that can really lay down the law whenever things are going awry, you know? But you want to have fun. Fun's first for me.
Fun has to be first. It makes me a little bit jealous of Becca B in the 773, I might add, because like, oh, could you, it's almost like when people say like, I wish I would do anything to watch, this show, like for the first time, one more time. That almost it kind of reminds me of in fantasy football. It's like, I wish I could play for the first time. So I think you're right. It's fun. You have to have fun. And then I think for your first time, and I know this isn't going to be, we're not getting into the stats and into the weeds of it, but draft the players that you like. Like if you're looking looking at someone and you're saying, oh, well, he's not, if you look at his ADP and you're taking him 2 or 3 rounds early, who cares? Like, you should be in a league where your draft mates are fun. Maybe they'll poke a little bit of fun at you, but I don't know, man, if for your first time, especially in redraft, go get your guys. I think that's for anyone though. Like, just go, if you have a strong opinion on someone, like you with the tight ends, like just go and get them because you want to like your fantasy team at the end of the day. And if you're just going by ADP and you're picking up guys that you're not so sure on, that makes it, again, full circle, not fun.
And it's your first time playing. This is the best time to talk trash because when you lose, it's like, hey, I've never done this before. Nobody can hate you for it. So talk trash, be overconfident, and just be in a league where like people aren't going to ghost the chat. You want a talkative league, especially for the first year.
And then you can say when you win, Becca, you can be like, oh, I'm a rookie and I won this league. Like, you guys are amateurs. And you will win by listening to Amanda and I. So we've got you. We've got you covered. Appreciate you calling in. All right, let's go to the next one here. Call from definitely not producer Swing. So let's hear definitely not producer Swing.
Hey, Kendall and Amanda, big fan of the show. Was just wondering where you would put Lightning McQueen on the all-time athletes power rankings list. Is he up there with guys like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, if that's your style? Where would you put him on the GOAT list? Thanks.
Last. That's my answer. Dead last. Not a sports movie. Not a sports movie. I'm sticking with that. We got so much pushback from that, by the way, when we said that wasn't a sport. It's not a sports movie. It's not.
I mean, I guess I could be convinced at some point, but it just feels like, is he an athlete? I don't know. Matt, you got to really think about it here. You're saying, how does he rank on the GOAT athletes? Has he really been put up to a challenge? That's my question. Granted, I don't know the plot of the movie, and I don't know. Maybe he has actually been put to a challenge. I don't know.
But you haven't watched it. You haven't seen
but I'm going to, okay, Kendall, I'll ask you this. Ricky Bobby or Lightning McQueen, which one's the better racer?
Ricky Bobby.
Okay,
1,000%.
I would agree. And the main reason, because he's not the car. He has to make decisions that aren't innate to his own body. You know what I mean?
You should watch it. It's actually, for all the slack we give producer Swing here, it's a great movie. I just don't think it's a sports movie. But you should
don't
watch
egg him
it.
on. Oh, you hear that?
Are you going to watch it?
We have another caller.
A new call? Oh, ring, ring, ring.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. All right, let's go to another one here from the Peter Overzet. Is that what we're calling him now? Let's go out to the Pete.
Hey, Kendall and Cooterdoodle. I don't really have a question, but I've just been thinking about this show still being untitled, and I had a few suggestions for names.
Oh, God.
So hear me out. The first one, The KC Show, and it ain't about the Chiefs. Obviously, initials, K for Kendall, C for Cooterdoodle. And I think it's the tagline that really sells it, and it ain't about the Chiefs. How about this one? Kendall and the Mad Dog. And this one features a big brand change where Amanda goes by Mad Dog now instead of Cooterdoodle. But if she was open to this, I think it could really work. Kendall and the Mad Dog. And then last one, We Have a Ball. It's kind of a spin on We Know Ball, but it's no longer conceptual. You now possess it. We have a ball, which people also forget means that you guys have a fun time. I don't know. I'll go back to the drawing board.
Thank you, to the Peter Overset.
I appreciate the effort. Mad Dog. I don't know if I'm willing to change my birth name, Cooterdoodle, to Mad Dog. I mean, that's a lot of work to have to go to the DMV and all these other places and change my name. Yeah, I just don't know if I can do it. And also, I don't know if I give off Mad Dog vibes. I would have to, beef up a little bit too, I think. So maybe
then you'd have to
KC.
bark. Then you'd have to bark on the show, which would be
right.
Yeah.
Do I have that dog in me? I don't know.
Yeah, do you have? See, that would be the fun part, by the way. Can I just tell a quick story here? When I first was hired, and my mom loves listening to everything that we do. It's this, it's whatever. Everything she'll listen and she'll read Fantasy Life. But I remember one of the first questions she asked me when I came over here, because you and I had done something together, maybe done an article or a video. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And she goes, Kendall, what is a Cooterdoodle? And I said, Mother, not now. We can't. I'll give you Amanda's number and you guys can discuss that. But I was like, we can't have this conversation. I don't know. You're just going to have to ask
Allegedly,
Amanda. So thank you for
allegedly it's a river turtle. You know, it's a type of turtle.
Oh,
You can Google
okay.
it.
Wow.
That is not wrong.
I'm not gonna ever Google it. But thank you so much. I like to keep myself. No, we're just no one do that. Actually,
It's a turtle.
Please don't do that.
It's a turtle. I'm not lying.
If you gave me 10 guesses, I would have never guessed that. Actually, I don't think I ever knew. But it's what we've got. See, time flies when we're having fun. But I'm turning it over to you because it's overtime again. We're here.
It's overtime. Now you're on the hot seat, Kendall. 2 weeks it was me, and now it's you. And this week it's going to be based off of, do you know Denny Carter's typical quarterback tweet post that he had where he talked about how the typical quarterback tweet is love my teammates, God is good. Typical running back tweet is keep grinding. Typical tight end tweet is derp. And then wide receiver is the enemy speaks kindly and holds the knife, right? So I'm going to give you some tweets from some football players, and you have to guess the position. So not the player, just the position.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hopefully I'm better at this than Michael Scott quotes. Anyway,
maybe so. Okay. And then after I'll tell you who it is. Okay.
Okay.
So first off, on the lowercase, I'm just trying to capitalize.
Oh my God.
On the lowercase, I'm just trying to capitalize. I like this one.
I'm going to steal that. On the lowercase, I'm just trying to capitalize. Give me a quarterback because they love give me a quarterback. I'm going to go QB there.
All right, Kendall, Lamar Jackson.
Yes, because they like to use, they're like, oh, it's not so much I'm the best in the world. You're just like trying to pick each word apart and say, what are you trying to say here? But I like that one from Lamar. That's a good one.
That is. I'm impressed you got that. I thought that would have been like a wide receiver tweet. Okay. Next one. Beat the odds, do numbers, and remain humble.
Oh God.
Beat the odds.
Running back. Is that a running back?
It's Jamar Chase. Beat the odds, do numbers,
humble.
And remain humble.
What receiver do we know that comes out here and is what are you talking about? That is that is the furthest thing.
This was before he got paid. So, I mean, maybe he was trying to remain humble at that time, right? All right, next one.
What? Okay. Now I'm locked in. All right, let's go.
All right. Keep your mind open here. My pants ripped at dinner. Didn't want cheeks out. I love Paris. So picture in your mind's eye who this MVP could be.
Oh, a running back? Is it a running back?
My pants ripped at dinner. Didn't want cheeks out. I love Paris. Quarterback Josh Allen.
What?
Like he was eating in Paris, I suppose, and his pants ripped at dinner.
Long ago. This was a year ago. What are you talking about, Josh?
I was scared you might have known that one.
No,
okay.
I don't know that one. That's like I need people to know that the date on this is 3/5/24, which was last year. That's crazy. Okay.
It just seems like one that would be memorable, Okay.
Fine.
Get ready for this one. It's rather long.
Okay.
Crying, laughing emoji, 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 crying, laughing emoji.
Hang on. That's got to be a receiver, right?
I don't know.
Is that a receiver?
Locking it.
I think it's a receiver. Yeah, lock in.
Alvin
Dang
Kamara.
It! Oh my gosh. I thought it was.
You know how he has those
Ravens. Oh. Who's that Ravens player that's always tweeting some funny stuff? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know which one it might be.
Hang on.
But Kamara's known for he'll put his emojis whenever something big happens in the Saints world. And so people try to read into what he's doing. Kind of like a la Tyreek Hill the last month where he'll just kind of post, a little emoji here and there. So
I get that. Marlon Humphrey is who I'm thinking of from the Ravens.
Yes.
Not applicable to this, but he always is. I shouldn't. Okay. Well, I started off so strong, Amanda, and now we're kind of going downhill. Do we have another?
Yes, I have a couple more. Okay. This one is golf is definitely in the top 5 greatest things on this planet, which is a big thing to say. And as somebody who got a hole-in-one in 2012, I would agree. Golf is definitely in the top 5 greatest things, not sports, greatest things on this planet, Kendall.
I'm actually going to go back. I know we just said quarterback here and then we just had Alvin Kamara. I'm going to go quarterback again though. Feels like quarterback's golf. You see Patrick Mahomes out there doing his thing on TV. I'm going to go quarterback. No.
It's Broncos, Evan Ingram. Tight end.
What are you talking?
It felt kind of
that's
tight
hard.
endy, right? I mean, it's such a silly little thing to say.
I thought
All
it was
right.
a quarterback because they got the money to go. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I need to
I
get
got two
better.
more for you. Do we have time?
Okay,
I think
perfect.
we do. Okay. Are you ready?
I'll
This
go
one's
fast,
deep.
yes.
Comparison is the thief of joy. So they're quoting a quote, but comparison is the thief of joy, Kendall.
Give me a wide receiver. Give me
And it's
a
Kyle
wide receiver.
Pitts.
Ah,
Kyle Pitts.
oh, God.
And think about it. He probably has to live this every day. He can't compare himself to other tight ends.
I'm going to quote tweet that after the show and be like, that's interesting.
He can't, compare himself. It would steal his joy. Okay, last one.
Hard.
This one is maybe related to the player. I will be the best when it's all said and done. I will be the best. Not might be. I will be the best.
I will be the best when it's all said and done. Because I think that could be a receiver or it could be all of it. Receiver, quarterback, running back. Give me a receiver. That seems diva-ish. I like that.
It's again Kyle Pitts.
No. When did he tweet that? I'm quote tweeting that for sure. Oh my gosh, that's so
2021
good. Kyle.
Before
Kyle. Everything before
it
he
went
sucked
downhill. So
that's
I knew
hilarious
you'd love
that you got that's hilarious that you got back-to-back Kyle Pitts tweets. That's incredible. That was hard. That was difficult.
That was.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Shout out to you for finding those. That's hilarious. Kyle Pitts, we'll talk later. We'll quote tweet those so everyone can see it. All right, appreciate everyone hanging out with us as always. Amanda, great to be with you again. And everyone, go to fantasylife.com, go subscribe to that newsletter, check out all of our articles getting you ready for the NFL draft. And you can check out the Rookie Supermodel now live as well, fantasylife.com. We'll see you next time.